Joe Biden's student loan repayment plan suffered a big setback as two federal judges halted key parts of that plan. Conservative critics say that president's executive action overstepped his legal authority, and two judges agree, at least partially. One judge in Missouri said that the program would likely harm the state because it would cut fees the Department of Education pays to a Missouri state agency. Now, that judge blocked the Education Department from further loan forgiveness until he decides the full case. A judge in Kansas halted the part of the program that would cut the monthly payments of some borrowers. Well, it'll be a good idea to keep the VNL News app handy for breaking and developing news right at your fingertips. You can download and use it for free. Just search VNL News in the App Store today.